Hello and welcome to That's Why We Have Hot Dogs in the Freezer. Today we're going to try to impress your family and friends. What we have here is a small pork loin that I picked up at the store the other day. And I'm going to show you how to do this in that new air fryer that my son's family gave me for Christmas. You remember that? It's the first video I've done using that one. But anyway, before we get started, I thought I would show you a little kitchen tip. Do you ever have a cutting board that kind of just slid around all over the place? Well, check this out. Put a wet paper towel underneath your cutting board. It just kind of seals it in place and it won't move around on you. So what we're going to need for this, we're going to need some butcher's twine. And I think I might go ahead and cut that before we switch over to something different. We have some salt, some pepper, some mustard, some olive oil, and 2 pieces of bacon cut in half. So we actually have 4 smaller pieces of bacon. Let's do our string first. We need 5 pieces of string. And I like to do this when the package is on so that I can use it without getting the string all contaminated with porky juices and cut my string to the length that I want. So I'll cut the first one right there in the middle. And we need 5. And 5. So we've got 5 strings. Now, what we're going to do, I have not done this before, so be patient if things look a little weird, but I'm going to use an overhead camera shot. Fancy, huh? After 70 videos, I'm finally going to go and do the overhead shot just like everybody else on YouTube does. So hang in there, be right back, see what we can do with this overhead shot. Okay, I opened up the package of pork loins and come to find out they packaged 2 small ones. So like they say, when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. So we're going to take one of these and I want to measure it to my spit since it's rather large. And yeah, there's going to be a lot of leftover. What we're going to do with those is we'll pound them out and turn them into pork steaks. We'll take this one, do the same thing, cut it right about there, and put that over there. Now, let's see what we can do with this lemon they gave us. I'm going to start by making a cut right there. Just open it up. And we'll take it down a little bit more. And I like using this knife because it's more precise. It's actually a fillet knife, and it's really, really sharp. So I've got that opened up. So now I'm going to make a cut this direction. And follow that along. Open that up. Until it's almost flat. That's not bad. We'll take this one, and if you're all wondering, this entire tabletop is a cutting board, but I like to use the blue one so I can put it in the sink. The bigger ones are harder to put in the sink, and normally I wouldn't use them for this. They would just be background, but for this new shot, you never know. Let's get some of this silver skin off. Excuse my arm. Get this trimmed up right here. Okay. Now, just like we did before, we're going to lay it out. And I think I'll do it this side and make a cut. open it up just a little bit and make a cut. There we go. Oops. And we'll cut in sideways. And we'll cut in sideways. And we'll cut in a little bit more and get it relatively flat. Now, we're going to take this, we'll take our first one, and I think what I'm going to do is kind of overlap it like that. Okay. Now, we're going to take, wipe my hands just a little bit. We're going to take mustard. And we're going to smear mustard. Ooh. I'm going to smear mustard all over this thing. This is your seasoning for right now on the inside. Smear the mustard. Maybe just a little kosher salt. And a little fresh cracked pepper on the inside. Okay. Then we're going to take our bacon and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's our bacon. Now, the magic. We're going to take it and we're going to roll it. And let's hope when we get to that place where they overlap, then I can pick it up. I did it. There we go. So, a little messy. Let's take string, work it into the middle here. And I do a butcher's knot, which means basically I'm doing a twice around. Tie it tight. And then tie it. Then we're going to take one on the end. Kind of slide it up. And tie it tight. Just like that. Take another piece of string. And we will grab that. Now that we've got 3 strings on it, we'll come back and put a string in the gaps. Tie that. And tie that. Now I'm not good enough to do this with all one string. I've seen people on TV do it. Actually, I think I've seen my brother do it once, but I can't do it. I've tried. I've told myself, I'm going to teach myself how to do this. I'm going to get a string and some towels. I'm going to roll a towel and wrap it up. Nope. It's one of those things, if you don't do it every day, it just doesn't happen. So if you do it with the single strings, I think it does just as well. Only thing is, when you get ready to serve, you have to remember to cut all 5 strings off. But now we're going to take this and we're going to liberally coat the outside with kosher salt. And then we're going to do the same thing with black pepper. pork loin has very little fat. Roll that around, get it all soaked up. Very little fat in pork loin. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take a plastic bag and we're going to drop this pork loin into the plastic bag. And we're going to add olive oil into the bag. Okay, seal it up, fold it over, try to get as much air out as you can, massage that olive oil in. We're going to put this into the refrigerator for a couple hours just to let all the bacony goodness and the mustard and all that absorb into it, and we'll come back later and I'll show you how to load it up into the air fryer and we'll make dinner. So you hang in there. We'll be back. Our pork loin has been in the fridge now for about 6 hours, and it's time for us to put it on the spit and get it into the air fryer. So we need to prep a couple things here real quick. First thing we need to do is put this thing together. Whoops. There we go. It's got a little dimple on the shaft, and you need to line it up with the screw so that you get a good solid fit. And I bought this thing just to help. Now we're going to take our roast, which is nice and greasy, and we're just going to put it on there and let it come out through that side. Wipe my hands. And now we're going to take this one, and I'm not too worried about the dimple on this one, because basically we just want to make sure that it's good and secure. There we go. Almost got it. A little more. There. Actually, we need to go down just a little bit more. There. And that's the thing here. You have to get this thing so that you've got room for your spit to turn. So we've got that mounted. And we're leaking oil everywhere. We'll clean that up. So now I'm going to turn this way so I can see what I'm doing. And I'll show you here in a minute. So now we're going to take this. And this end looks different than this end. This end is what turns. This end is you lock it in for the motor to run. So I'm going to put this in here, just like this. And make sure it snaps in, which it just did. And then we're going to turn it on. And I'm going to go for 370, and I'm going to go with 21 minutes on rotisserie. There we go. So it's in there spinning. We will be back in 20 minutes and see what we have got. So you hang in there. Well, I've had to readjust the time twice. I've actually cooked this thing about 45 minutes. And for some reason, the rotisserie stopped spinning the last time I adjusted the temperature. But I checked it with my probe, and we're about 160. So we're going to let it coast up to 165, which means it's time to take it out. So, oh yeah, it's hot. I'm gonna, let's see here. It says 2 minutes to go. I'm just gonna do that. That's going to put it through its cool down cycle. And then I'll show you how to use this whim digger of a thing. And what we'll do is we'll take it out and then we're going to put it on this pan and wrap it in foil and let it rest for a few minutes. Let it rest for about 10 minutes actually. So it's done. Reach in here and there it is. And I'm just going to put it on that pan just like it is. Leave the spit in it and everything. And just wrap it up in foil. And we'll let that rest for 10 minutes. And then we'll come back and we'll cut into it and see what we got. So you hang in there. You know how this thing works. For you, it's just a few seconds. For me, it's going to be 10 more minutes. So we'll see in a little bit. Hang on. Okay, it's been about 10, 15 minutes. So let's see what we've got on this pork roast. I think I've waited long enough. How about you? Let's take this out. And loosen one of the screws. That. And then we'll take this and I want to put it here on my cutting board so everything is out of the way. Let's see. Let's go with the big end. I don't know if you can see that, but there you go. Put that here on my plate. Got the bacon flavor in there. Just a little hint of the mustard. All in all, pretty good. So, that was the pork loin in the air fryer. And you've been watching That's Why We Have Hot Dogs in the Freezer. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, please like and subscribe. Click on my little face over here. We'll see you next time. Bye.